Lions TV, this is a midweek roundup show, a weekly roundup show, call it what you like. We are breaking away from England, the Three Lions and the Euro campaign momentarily as a couple of reasons. Firstly, I've been sitting in this seat for about 4 days straight and there's been a lot going on at the Den. Secondly, so why not incorporate that while I'm sitting on my arse watching the games, give you a little bit of a roundup. It usually gets going sort of from next week when July hits or a couple of weeks' time. Then players start moving once their contracts are up. But there's already been quite a lot going on. So I thought I'd just take you through it quickly. I have posted on social media, so apologies if this does cover anything you've already seen on my feed. Let's start out by taking a look at players that could potentially be coming in through the door. So let's start out by talking about a player that definitely won't be coming through the door now. However, he was a long time Millwall target according to strong sources on Twitter. I'm talking about Alan Campbell, the Motherwell midfielder, came through the youth system with the club and played for 5 years as a professional. 22 years old, central midfielder, out of contract with Motherwell in the summer. And it was after him for a while, allegedly. Blackpool then joined that race. And I thought, what's going to happen now? You could put your house on Blackpool to go up, get promoted, and Campbell join them instead. They did get promoted, however, out of absolutely nowhere, he's gone and joined Luton Town. Luton have also signed, in case you didn't know, Fred Onyedinma, the former Millwall player, joined him from Wickham earlier this month. So it looks like they're trying to get a little bit of a younger side going and have a little bit of a go. But I just thought I'd cover it because I've seen strong rumours. I've covered it myself many times. Alan Campbell could be coming. He definitely isn't. He's joined Luton. Another player potentially coming through the door is Ikpeazu. Almost definitely I pronounced that wrong. The 26-year-old Londoner is a striker for newly relegated Wickham, who will be going back to League One. And Millwall allegedly joined the race along with Derby, Nottingham Forest and Middlesbrough to secure the front man services. He scored 6 goals last season in 31 games. He only joined Wickham in 2020 from another Scottish club, Heart Midlothian. So 1 year in the Championship, in a relegated side, I don't think that's a bad move. I've seen people comparing him to all sorts of players. Poor guesswork from a few of you there on your opinions of what he's going to be like. I can't comment too much. I've not seen a lot of him. When I did see him against us, I thought he caused all sorts of problems. I thought he looked like a strong player, good on the ball, strong in the air, complete handful. He definitely caused us problems when we played Wickham at the Den earlier in the season. And I'm gonna back him here. I'm gonna say 6 goals in a relegated side in your first season in English football, coming from Scotland in the Championship. I don't think that's bad going at all. I'll be very interested in seeing how this one plays out. But I don't think it's going to be a bad signing by any stretch if we do make that signing. And again, I point to things I've covered before on this channel. What do people think we're going to get? What do you actually think we're going to get as a fan base? Because, we're not got no money. We need to bring homegrown talent through. I'll get onto that shortly. And it can't be much worse than what we got. But I don't like to really go down that route. What I'm saying is, what do people think we're going to get? We've got to go a little bit lower. Wickham, of course, now relegated. We're going to delve into League One or a League Two or a non-league. I think potentially that's going to be a better, more long-term prospect signing than getting a loanee, getting an old loanee in, or and someone that's not really going to do the business. It's a little bit of a risk, but it's a risk, unfortunately, with our budget, we need to take. So that's players in. Let's talk about players potentially going out the door and sticking with strikers. The club have said they're listening to offers for John, Dadi, Budvarsson. I'm going to try and keep it straight face while I said that. I don't want to go too hard on the Dadi. Just sign from Reading Bonniware. It's terrible signing, really. Possibly, the Icelandic, the whoosh, the clap and all this shit. Possibly the least stereotypical Icelandic and stereotypical Millwall player you could ever meet. He tries hard, but unfortunately, his best just isn't good enough. So, let me explain to you, because someone asked me the other day, could have been my son, but I'll explain for those who may not understand the ins and outs of it. But Budvarsson has a year to run on his contract. His contract is to the club, as is Tom Bradshaw, to the summer of 2022. So, say for example, Budvarsson, and I don't know what wages he's on, but to keep it simple, because maths isn't my strong point, I'm going to say, imagine he's on £5,000 a week, okay? That's 20 grand a month. That's about £250,000 a year. So if Millwall want John Dadi Budvarsson out the door, it's going to cost them £250,000. Of course, Budvarsson isn't silly. He's going to sit there and say, well, if you can get me a transfer, or my agent can, I'll happily go. But at the minute, I've got a year to run on my contract. I'm not going anywhere, gaffer. So this is what Millwall can do. They can offer John Dadi Budvarsson a pay-up, for example. They'll say, look, John, we'll give you half of that, 125 bags off your fuck. But more than likely, they'll try now to find a League One, and I think he'll do all right in League One. He did all right against Oxford in the League Cup last year, scoring 2 goals that night away at Oxford, despite us eventually going out on penalties. What an absolute catastrophe that night was. But I think if you could find a 50 grand, 100 grand, even 25 grand, we're not fussy. I've seen all sorts of offers. A pack of Walker's Chris and everything go on Instagram on my post when I put it out. But yeah, if you could find someone just to give you 50 bags for John Dadi Varson, that means he leaves the club. Millwall get 50 grand and they've not got to pay any of that aforementioned 125 or £250,000. So John Dadi Varson, I'm just glad really the gaffer's finally noticed that he's not good enough for this club, because for long spells he played instead of Bradshaw, instead of Smith. But he finally looks to be out the door. John Dadi Varson should be leaving the club potentially if anyone's got a spare tenner. Next up is players who could potentially be leaving under offer from other clubs. I'm talking about scholar, second-year scholar, Abdul Malik, a big prospect at Millwall, very highly thought of, very much spoken about by the fan base and by the club. I've seen a lot of him for the 23s. He's gone from sort of wide man to central striker. He's very short. He's definitely filled out. His movement's fantastic. He's very pacey and he's confident. His final ball needs work, but of course, that's why he is where he is and the age he's at. That could well potentially, if that clicks in for him, could be a fantastic player. He's been offered a deal, a professional contract by Millwall Football Club. And for those today saying, well, I'll get onto who signed a contract in a minute today. Oh, Abdul hasn't signed one. Abdul isn't in the group that those boys are in. Those boys are all first-year pros and above. And talking about Hayden Muller. And I'm talking about Isaac Alafi, who's even older than that, he's the same age as Danny McNamara. But I'll get into that in a minute. So if you haven't seen him sign a contract today, don't panic just yet, because he's in the second-year scholars, along with the likes of Nana Boateng, that will be offered professional contracts. But Swansea have come in and made an offer. They used the word, I think Richard Cowley on Twitter used the word, which I'd never heard in my life, and I had to Google it, and it basically means a very insulting or low offer. That's what Swansea have come in for, to offer Millwall Abdul Malik. However, with Abdul Malik being out of contract, I don't see why they've offered the fee. There's a little bit of something there that I'm not sure the process of what's gone on, but Swansea have made a borderline insulting offer to Millwall for England youth setup Abdul Malik. Will he leave the club? I'll let you know how that one plays out through the week. So for now, that's all transfer rumours coming in and people potentially going out. Let's move on to contracts signed. 2 players we know well, Alex Pearce, Matt Smith, both experienced players, both offered 1-year deals. It was confirmed they would sign definitely Alex Pearce, and it was still Matt Smith was holding out, I think, seeing what he could get from elsewhere. They both now signed 1-year contracts on reduced terms, which means a lot less money than they fucking used to be on, which I doubt either are happy about, but a bit, not being rude, beggars can't be choosers, and if you ain't getting offers from elsewhere, sometimes, I'm sure that they're sorted for life or money anyway. They'll have to stay put and see it out at Millwall for another season. Pearce would have absolutely jumped at the chance, no doubt. Smith, I think's hand would have been a little bit stronger, and I'm surprised that he hasn't gone elsewhere. As I said, very unorthodox player, runs a little bit like me, but he just scores goals for us when he comes on the pitch. But I honestly think 30 goals he'll get in League One for a team. He's still got a lot to offer in the Championship, scores a lot of goals for us coming off the bench. Definitely not happy about not getting enough game time. I'm sure that's just, you can see that in his body language and the way he carries himself at times when he scored. I think it's either an equaliser. It was an equaliser. Mason Bennett got the late winner away at Reading. Sort of a big look to the bench and Gary out and booting the ball miles in the air. But it is what it is. He signed a 1-year deal. I am happy about that. However, we definitely need to add to our striker situation. Moving on finally to today's news. 5 players offered contracts. All 5 taking them. 2 goalkeepers, Joe Wright and Ryan Sanford. I don't want to slag anyone off, but I'm amazed Sanford's got another deal. He'll be about for a testimonial, so they've never played a first-team game. Moving on, Bessart Topoloj, left-sided, under 23, first-year pro. Now gets another year's deal. I like Bessart. Me and my mate go to the 23s a lot. He divides opinion between myself and my mate. My mate doesn't like him. I do. Think he's got a lot to offer. Great left foot, can play centre-back, can play left, wing-back, a shirt printer's nightmare, but Bessart Topoloj signs a 1-year contract at the club. And we're going to finish up with what I'm personally going to call the 2 big guns of those 5 that have signed new contracts today. Hayden Muller, absolute Rolls Royce of a centre-back. We need to get him in the first team. And along with Isaac Alafi, signed new deals at the club. Very excited about these 2. These are 2 players that could get to Billy Mitchell, Danny McNamara territory very quick. And I'm going to say something now, you may laugh at me. I think if Billy Mitchell and Danny McNamara have another season like they both just had, they're both going to be worth about £2-3 million at the end of next season. That's £5-6 million worth of players that we can't afford to buy. So let's go down the same route here with Hayden and with Isaac, Tanto and Lafay. Let's get these in to the first team, get them playing all the games in pre-season, right, with a view to getting them starting games in the Championship next season. Because if they have the sort of season, as I said, that Billy and Danny Mac did last year, potentially you're looking at about £10-15 worth of talent we've got there that we've homegrown and haven't had to buy, and whether we like or not, eventually could sell on for a profit as well after getting some good service out of them in the first team. And I'm going to say this, I covered it the other day on a social media post about our strikers. Now, I didn't mention Isaac Alafe in that because personally I didn't feel Gary Rowett was going to do what we want him to do and play the youngsters. And I think it's been a bit harsh on Rowett now that people said, he won't fucking play him anyway, when I put this post out earlier on social media. Well, he has started to. Brought Danny Mac back. Billy Mitchell has forced his way in through his desire and his talent, and now they're both established first-team players. So I think he will play them. Hayden's got to be involved this year. Got to be involved. He's going to languish in that 23s. If you're not going to do that, Gaffer, then get him out on loan to a League One club at least, because he definitely is going to be a pivotal player going forward for the football club. And Isaac Alafe now, doing what I do for a job on social media, and I'm going to talk about Alafe now like a product, like a bit of marketing. Sorry, no disrespect to Tanto, but if you've got something that you want to push to the people and you want them to take the bait of what you want, what you've got on offer, then you put it out there in slow bits, and you feed them, you drip feed them and build the excitement, build the hype. Today the club on the Instagram have posted an Isaac Alafe appreciation post almost. They put it out, Tanto's in the building, Tanto this, Tanto that. So from my trained social media eye, that tells me that the club are looking to get him involved in first team action, and I hope to God I'm fucking right. So that's your lot for this roundup show. Just recorded that during the half-time interval for Denmark versus Belgium. I need Belgium to come back and win that game for some money. Please, thank you very much. Hashtag pay me. I might start doing these as little daily bulletins while I'm sitting here watching a month's worth of football. Instead of covering it in long roundup shows, I might start doing it in short, sharp ones as rumours come in, strong rumours, not just any rumour. Players in, players out, potential, where we're going, what we're doing. I might do that in little short, sharp bulletins, keeping them out consistent on YouTube. Nearly forgot what the outlet was called. Then it's called YouTube. Of course it is. It's what we're here for. It's what we do. Hope to see you soon. I'll be back for the England game tomorrow. Of course, live streaming in Lions TV Towers, right in this very seat from 7:30-ish. Got to drop the boy home first. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.